I came home to find all my furniture missing, and my landlord calmly told me he'd redecorated while I was at work. I stood there in my empty living room like an idiot, staring at the carpet dents where my couch used to be. My TV stand was gone. My coffee table that I'd bought with my first paycheck from Target. Even my stupid little houseplant was missing from the windowsill. My landlord Kevin was sitting on a folding chair in the corner like this was totally normal. He had this smug smile on his face and a clipboard in his lap. "Hope you don't mind," he said, flipping through papers. I thought the place needed some updating. Fresh start, you know. I asked him what the hell he meant by fresh start. Where was all my stuff? He just shrugged and said it was in storage somewhere safe. Don't worry about it. He'd picked out some new furniture that would match the apartment's aesthetic better. Modern stuff. Clean lines. The thing is, I'd been planning to move out anyway. My girlfriend Amber and I had been talking about getting a place together for months. We'd already looked at 3 apartments that weekend and put down a deposit on this cute 1-bedroom near her work. I was going to give Kevin my 30-day notice that Tuesday, but when he pulled this stunt, something inside me just snapped. I told him I wanted my furniture back immediately or I was calling the police. He laughed and pulled out my lease agreement, pointing to some tiny print clause about property improvements and temporary storage during renovations. I'd never read that part. Who actually reads all that legal garbage when you're desperate for an apartment? The next morning I called out sick from work and drove straight to a lawyer's office downtown. Turns out Kevin had been pulling this scam on other tenants for years, taking their stuff, claiming it was storage, then selling it or keeping it for himself. The lawyer said we had a solid case, but it would take months to resolve. Meanwhile, I had to sleep on an air mattress Kevin had graciously provided. My clothes were stuffed in garbage bags because he'd also stored my dresser. I felt like I was camping in my own apartment. That's when I remembered something my dad taught me about dealing with bullies. Sometimes you have to get creative. I started documenting everything. Photos of the empty apartment, recordings of Kevin making excuses about where my stuff was. I even found out he'd done this to the guy who lived here before me, a college student who just moved out without fighting it. But here's where it gets good. Kevin had forgotten about one thing when he cleared out my place, my security camera. I'd hidden a tiny one behind my bookshelf months ago after some packages went missing. It was still there, tucked behind the radiator, recording everything. The footage showed Kevin and 2 other guys hauling out my furniture at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. They weren't storing it. They were loading it into a truck. Kevin was literally stealing from his own tenants. I showed the video to my lawyer, who immediately filed charges. Within a week, Kevin was arrested for theft. Turns out the storage unit story was complete BS. He'd been selling tenant furniture online and pocketing the money. The best part came 2 weeks later when I was packing up what little I had left. Kevin's wife showed up at my door crying. She'd found out about his scam and was filing for divorce. She begged me not to press charges because it would ruin their family. I told her the same thing Kevin told me when I asked for my stuff back. Don't worry about it. Amber and I moved into our new place the next month. Kevin got 6 months in jail and had to pay me back triple what my furniture was worth. His wife got the house in the divorce and immediately sold it.